It's our 50th episode, Dulcich. Can you believe it? 50 Roadkill Garages.
Wow.
I thought we would do something simple and fun. Maybe you could just like knock the door ding out of this thing and we can hit the road.
Oh, wow. It might need a little bit more than knocking the door ding out. I hated this car, actually. When you and Finnegan did the episode where you got this thing running and driving,
yeah,
I thought that was admirable, but man, this car pained me so much.
But it was so fun.
Oh, well, I wasn't there, so I'll take your word for it.
Finnegan wants to keep this together just to have it for posterity. And I'm like, no. So what I want to do is take the entire drivetrain, front clip, everything mechanical off this and plop it onto our 68 Satellite shell.
Well, I'm totally on board with that. That's exactly what I would do.
I say we start with disassembly because I don't want to start assembly work yet.
Oh yeah, we'll tear it all down, get a whole gigantic pile of parts and then just walk away.
Lose all the fasteners and everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
It'll be the usual program.
All right, let's get started.
All right.
What you got here is a 1968 Plymouth Roadrunner, the MotorTrend car of the year for 1968. This one's a 383 with a 4-speed, and it belonged to a friend of a friend who was using it as a daily driver. He was super proud of this car, and apparently lost it in the rain at one point and wrapped it around a telephone pole or a power pole or something like that. So what we did is we bought a 1968 Plymouth Satellite shell for $800, and I think we paid $5 grand for the Roadrunner, which seems like a lot until you realize that it's going to give us an engine, a 4-speed, a clutch, a bell housing, clutch linkage, pedals, steering column, dash, radiator, everything. We're going to be able to put together a Roadrunner clone here for, I'm going to say, less than $7,500. This is going to be a lot of work.
All right. Okay, theoretically, David, it should come off right now.
The water's out of it now.
Ah! Glad I wasn't under the car this time.
There we go. Whoa, there we go. Simple as pie.
Yeah.
That was way better than I expected.
Oh no, that was great.
We just got the whole front clip off in one piece, which was really cool because I was worried we'd have to take the grill out and everything. That saved hours. It gave us easier access to the engine and the suspension in order to do the next thing, which is to remove the body up and off the whole suspension K-member and engine trans, everything. We still have stuff to disconnect though, like drive shaft, shifter.
Yeah, but I actually feel pretty good about the progress.
Yeah, no, I mean, the disassembly is going great.
I see light at the end of the tunnel.
Already?
Yeah, we've got this, Freiburger.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
There you go. Ah. Sometimes you have to take a break and pat the dog.
We're just about to drop the K-member with the engine and transmission and everything attached to it. The problem is the torsion bars won't come out. Now, I think the car is so tweaked that it's putting them in a bind, and even though we release the tension from the torsion bars, they won't slide out. So I'm just gonna torch them in half, and that'll be that. We'll get new ones. With the torsion bar cut, removing the rest of this is gonna be really easy.
We think we have everything loose. I'm sure we don't really, but we're gonna go for it instead. Okay.
This is gonna flop around dangerously.
Oh yeah, ready?
I'm going for it right now. Whoa, what happened? It's like the car moved. Yay! Look at that, Freiburger! Gravity.
So the entire engine, transmission, and front suspension is now freed from the car. Our challenge now is to figure out how to get the whole body up and over that behemoth. That might just clear.
And I hope we don't have to take off the carburetor.
It's gonna hit the carb stud. Take the carb stud out and we're good. All right, we're gonna remove all the brake line apparatus from the engine compartment in one fell swoop like this. All right, Dulcich, hand me the new monstrosity. Got it.
All right.
Now, install that. There you go. And this goes under here. I'm gonna blow air through this brake line just to make sure that it's not completely clogged. And once I get that connected and this snapped into place, I think we're ready to plug in the engine up from the bottom. Here comes air. Uh-oh.
Nothing? Let me try going from the back to the front.
Ah, got it.
Should we fill this up with brake clean and then blow?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ah.
That was just a pure hose through brake clean.
Yeah.
In theory, the car will simply drop directly onto the engine. Oh, let me hit the carburetor.
Oh, wait. Oh, wait.
We're raking our AFB.
We are.
But we don't care that much.
No. There we go. And stop. Cleared it.
Wow.
Okay, and boom. Here, start pulling it forward while you're...
While I'm lowering it.
There you go.
Okay. How's your key member bolt?
Hold on, don't move anything. I'm gonna stick my finger through. I can install a K-member bolt. I can get my rear one in too.
You don't say.
It's done. Give me the rear one. Yes, I just got both the K-member bolts in this side. Perfect. Battery is technically in, but the hold down is not. Man, we're just knocking them down.
Yeah.
Really, it's just wiring.
Would you believe that the drive shaft that came out of our junk car was a foot too short? That's because the car was scrunched. So we had to make a whole new drive shaft. I've got new hardware to attach it to the rear end, and all I've got to do is tighten the bolts, and that'll complete the entire drivetrain. Freiburger,
Yeah.
are you ready to try to start the engine?
Do you have it perfectly wired?
Oh, I've got a wiring octopus going there with every wire connected to every wire.
I am ready.
But there's one problem, there's no fuel in the carburetor.
But you're holding a can of brake clean.
Oh no, this is flammable hairspray.
Yeah.
Even better.
Ready? There we go.
That's boring. Maybe it had some bad gas in the carburetor.
Possible. So the suspension is tracking straight.
That sounded all right.
Sounds better. Ready for brakes?
Yeah. How are they?
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
This might be our best car.
I think it is.
That's easy enough.
It'll burn rubber pretty easily.
I think the thing is, the roadkill cars that we end up assembling and then perfecting over a bunch of episodes are the best ones. And that's what we're gonna do with our so-called wreck runner here. And this time we're gonna just do a few refinements to make things like a better driver, or maybe a little bit faster. And I'm gonna get out the pressure washer and try and blow off all of this disgusting sunburn clear coat that's grossing me out.
Okay, get busy, Freiburger.
Okay.
It sounds good, but it's got a teeter-tot when you look at it from the back. It's high in that corner, and it's low right there.
It's funny you should mention that, because that was the first thing I wanted to deal with, because it bothers me so much.
I know.
I think it's just this torsion bar adjustment, I hope.
Yeah, because that's dropped, and the rear is not adjustable, the front is, so we
Well, when it was outside, I also made sure the tire sizes were the same in the back. All right, so let's crank up the torsion
Okay.
bar because that'll be instant satisfaction.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the Mopar muscle cars have torsion bar front suspension. Instead of a coil spring, there's a long rod that attaches to the lower control arm and extends back to an anchor in the car. And the twist on that bar is actually what carries the weight of the car. And so you can adjust them to go higher. There's a nut in the lower control arm that has an adjustment, and as you screw it in, it puts more twist on the bar and it'll raise the car. So normally you have to pick up the car to do this. I'm gonna hope that this fits underneath that control arm and that this has the power to lift it up, but probably not. We're going the lazy way. This is Roadkill Garage after all. It's working. How's it look?
I'm gonna measure both sides and see if they're even. 26.25. This side's a little lower, I think.
25.5.
So up more?
Up more.
Good?
I think that's good.
So what we're gonna do in the next segment of this show is sort of go through the engine and do all the basic checks that I would advise for anybody who's buying an older car and just wants to fiddle with it on day one. And we're even gonna change the carburetor just because it's who we are. And I'm just noticing this air cleaner might not fit with our new carburetor, which is kind of a bummer because if you look, you'll realize that this does say Roadrunner right on it. Watch me pour out all that water. Ooh, it's got a K&N in here. Look at that, and it's filthy. The engine we're working on here is a 383 big block Mopar. It's the low deck version of the same engine family as like a 440, which you've heard of before. As a matter of fact, a guy asked me this question the other day, so I will educate you. This will not be educating Dulcich, but the general audience may not be aware that the low deck Mopar big block has a machined pad on the passenger side underneath the distributor, whereas the tall deck 440 or 413 or 426 has the machined pad over here on the driver's side. So that's a quick at-a-glance way to tell the two engines, as if you were not Steve Dulcich, who could glance at this thing and immediately discern the narrower intake manifold, which would indicate the low deck motor, right?
Yeah. Well, and also the finer detail is the pad on the 383 is at the same angle as the deck, but
Right.
on the 440,
flat.
it's flat. Would you say the 383 is the greatest engine Chrysler ever built?
I would say that you think the 383 is the greatest
I
engine
really
Chrysler
like the
built.
383.
Yeah. The 383 is pretty good. You can stroke them out to a 440. Actually, I think you can make them even bigger than that.
Oh,
can't you?
yeah.
But it's not the premium 400 with a larger bore. This has a 4.250 bore and a 3.38 stroke.
Well, you might scoff at that bore size, but it's as big as a 454 Chevy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's a big bore short stroke motor from the factory. What I'm working on is I'm removing the alternator, and the reason is I've got to make a new fuel line going to the carburetor, and I don't like the way this main line's routed. The fuel filter's actually underneath the alternator, so I've got to get that out of my way so I can gain access, and then I'm just going to remake the whole thing. Ow! Sometimes the bolt gets stuck in there when there's a lot of rust. That was a lot of struggle there, but there it is.
Install it when I'm on break.
Oh, I thought you were putting that in.
Next up, I'm going to install some of these cheap auto gauges because we tend to blow engines up if we don't have them, so it's going to go right there. And I'm also going to clean up some of this wiring. Not all, but some.
Freiburger You know what this is on for? Marital aid. Why don't you just hop inside and start the engine?
All right, let's fire this thing up.
I'll time it.
Ready? The moment is now. Dulcich, with his complete pile of garbage with a roof that flaps in the wind. Me, with this steaming doo-doo, with dead spark plugs and a bad synchro. Who will win? We'll find out right now. I think that was a one-legger. Posy does not work great in this thing. I took off before him. It was my only chance to beat him was to try and, beat him off the line, and he smoked me anyway. Okay, I think we can do this better. Well, I knew my only chance to win was to get you off the tree, so I red lit bad.
I'm out. My transmission won't get out of first gear.
What?
Yeah. I was just on the whole return road. I was trying to get this thing to go into second, and it wouldn't do it. Well, let me try shifting it manually with the slap stick.
Okay. So Steve's super depressed now because his car's broken, and I don't blame him. It was faster than me. I'm going to try and make it better. Hopefully, it's got some spark plugs left to do that. Okay, I need to not red light this time.